The reincarnation of time is a predication based upon the human perspective. The truth about time is that there is no time. There is no such thing as a past, present, or future. There is only the now. The reincarnation of anything is the doing over of the same thing, but in a different phase, a different life, and in a different form. If we look at the physicality of life and time, we would be persuaded to believe that the years, the weeks, and the months that we visit are the first time that those weeks, months, and years were visited. For instance, the year 1985. There was a time that 1985 existed in the now. There was a moment where 1985 was something that people would reiterate as they mark their calendars and as they plan their daily events and their lives. There was a point in time. But what if I told you that 1985 wasn't the first time that 1985 existed? 1985 has been visited many of times, has been revisited over and over again through many and by many perspectives. Now, how can we know this to be a matter of fact? How? How can we prove this to be a matter of fact? We can prove this by being a matter of fact by examining the evidential life that we live, the evidential timeline that we base our lives upon every single day. Monday through Saturday, we live our lives. Monday comes, Monday goes. Tuesday comes, Tuesday goes. And then the following week, Monday appears again. The following week after that, Monday appears again. Tuesday appears again, and so forth and so on. There's a repeating of days. There's a repeating of weeks. But those repeating of days and weeks come in different forms. Last Monday, it may have rained. The next Monday, it may be sunshine. And then the Monday after that, maybe snow. So the weeks, the days, and months repeat, recycle, letting us know that there's a reincarnation of time happening. It happens over and over again, relentlessly. If we look at life and nature and as it is, we can see the sun rise and set every single day of our lives. One day will begin, another day will end. We'll see the sun shine brightly in the sky. The night will fall thereafter. The next day, we'll see the sun rise again, and then the night will fall thereafter. There's a reincarnation of nature. There's a reincarnating of things happening over and over again. Never the first time around. You'll never see the sun shine one day and not shine the next. It will always be a repetition of this happening. If we look at the trees and how they grow and the flowers that come from the earth, we'll see a beautiful flower spring in the spring. And then during the end of spring, when it is fall, we'll see that same flower perish. And then the next season comes where it's springtime again, and we'll see that flower raise again. So we can see the reincarnation of nature. We can see the reincarnation of time. So therefore, there is no past, present, or future truly as we believe that it is. There's only the now. If we look at how we conduct ourselves just in the physicality of life, if we look at how we live our lives, if you look at the earth and the timeline, everything that we put a measure of time upon when it comes to our dealings in this etheric realm of existence, we can see that there's different time zones that we have. If it's 3 a.m. on the East Coast, it's 12 a.m. on the West Coast. So there's a 3-hour time differential. So if I decided to fly from the East Coast to the West Coast, I would essentially be going back in time. Essentially, and literally, I will be going back in time because it's 3 a.m. on the East Coast, but it's 12 a.m. on the West Coast. So I'm going back to 12 o'clock. So when it was 12 o'clock on the East Coast, 3 hours later, I decided to revisit 12 o'clock by traveling back to 12 o'clock on the West Coast. So what is happening at 12 o'clock on the West Coast there could be something happening at 3 o'clock on the East Coast. But it's all happening in what we call the now. So time is the illusion and the barrier that keeps our ignorance trapped in a maze of confusion and beautiful wonderment. Believing that time is something that we can capture in a bottle and keep there as a prisoner to meet our mental and psychological demands in the way of task, adventure, and living life. And that's exactly what time is. So for one to believe that the year that you're living in is the first time that you're living in it would be a fallacy. For one to believe that everything is moving one direction, forward. For one to believe that means that they're ignorant of the concept of life and what it truly is. From the etheric point of view, everything is happening, not in a linear way. To say something is moving forward means that you're giving validity to the concept of time, that things can only move one way. But in reality, things are not moving one direction forward. They're moving all directions, 360 directions, backwards, forwards, up and down. There is literally no such thing as a backwards and forwards when you're looking at the etheric realm of time. In the etheric realm of time, the cardinal realm of time disintegrates immediately because you're dealing with tangibility. And when you're dealing with anything tangible, there's a fading away process, and there's a rebuilding process, and there's a generational process. So anytime you're dealing with time, it's predicated on things that are tangible and that do not exist and that have an expiration date on it. And that is the only reason why we deal with time, is because we're dealing with the fallacies of life. We're dealing with tangible elements that are only meant to exist for a short period. If you look at an ice cube will eventually melt, turn into water, and then go back to its source or origin. That source or origin we cannot base time upon because it does not expire. The oxygen, the air, there's no expiration date to that. It's forever, it's eternal, it's etheric. Whereas the ice cube and the water will eventually disintegrate and fade away, the oxygen and the source that it comes from lives forever and ever. So it's the same thing that we're dealing with when it comes to reincarnation of time. We have to understand that the soul and the main objective of the soul living in the tangibility of a physical body is to outgrow itself, to evolve and learn. Because the truth about the matter is that when the body disintegrates and it fades away and it is completely demolished, the soul then has to carry on. It has to carry on. It has to move on. And if the soul becomes entangled in the carnality, physicality, and fictitiousness of this life, then it will have nothing to carry on in the next life. You see, if the objective of living is to die, then our main purpose should be to prepare for the dying, prepare for the living, because each and every single day, the body is dying. It's dying. You're dying every day. This is actually death, a death-like state. As soon as you're born into the world and you're taking that first breath of air, you are dying. You are getting older. You are aging. So as you're aging and you're dying, you're actually dying and you're aging so that you can eventually enter the realm of life, which is true life, etheric life, which is the reality of things. This thing that we're experiencing here is all an illusion. This is not real life. This is an elaborate illustration of something that goes far beyond the psychological or mental comprehension or reach of the human psyche. There's no way we can really comprehend what we are living in this facet place that we call a human body. However, the arming and the understanding of this life when it comes to absorbing the information here and understanding how the things around us work will prepare us or help prepare us for what's to come. So no matter what you hear in the spiritual communities about life and the afterlife and leaving your body, truth is, no one knows. No one knows. The most wisest sentiment that any man could ever echo are the words, I don't know. And as soon as that can be admitted, understood, and sincerely comprehended, that is when the truth of the reality of this life will unveil itself. You cannot believe the fiction, the fairy tales. You have to believe the reality. The reality is we do not know. The objective is to keep the thought that there is no knowledge outside of self-knowledge. And the understanding of what could happen hereafter is only based upon our preparation of what we can do in the here and now. The reincarnation of time is an illusion that we have all agreed to participate in.